Good morning. Hello, everybody. Let me move a few things around here so I can see what I'm doing. Hello. All right, cool. Hello, Dad. So, yes, good morning. Welcome to Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. Thank you so much for being here. It is the Saturday, the 18th. Hello, Rodney. Hey, Kim. Good morning to you. Let's see. Hello, Sharon. Hello, Debbie. Good mornings. It goes along with the topic, Debbie. You will see if you didn't read the description. Hey, Dinah. Good morning. Hey, Carmen. Good morning. So yeah. So hopefully everybody's doing all right. Everybody's good. I'm kind of all over the place at the moment. I'm kind of. It's been a crazy week again. Hope next week hopefully be a little bit less crazy, but still in that realm of craziness. And yeah, so I mean, like always, we just try to dive into things. So hopefully everybody's doing well. I'm kind of curious because one of the things I was going to bring up is I wanted to see if anybody had any experiences. Hey, Rachel, good morning. I was curious to see how, if anybody was affected by the full moon this week, if anybody noticed anything different, whether it was leading up to it, the day of, or even the day after. So I was kind of curious. So if anybody experienced something, let me know in the comments so I can check those out. Um, Other than that, yeah, like I said, it's been kind of crazy, you know, but that's nothing new, for me because obviously I'm um, all over the place at times, and that's the way it goes. But that's all right. You just do it the best you can and keep moving forward, like I always say. Yeah, I mean, but okay, Debbie's having crazy dreams. Okay, yeah, I could see. That certainly can jump in there for some, I would imagine. Um, yeah, I mean, just a couple of things that were highlights this week for me. Hey, Nicole, good morning. What do you got, Kim? I've had a bad week, but yesterday everything got better. Okay, well that's cool. Well, might go along with the topic a little bit later, so maybe we can dive into see what made it so bad or why it went into that. So we'll see. Uh, yeah, no, I mean it was kind of curious. I mean, the full moon for me, you had crazy dreams too, huh, Rachel? Okay, um, it was interesting. Hey, Dana. Nice, Dana. I'll throw it up for you. Yeah, and it was this this full moon. I really didn't even pay attention to it. I mean, I've seen some people talking about it as it was approaching, and I didn't even know what day it was until I think it was like that the day of that it was going to be, hitting full moon. Hey, Kelly, good morning. That it was going to be, that evening. And I know if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it was raining that day or if it was just cloudy. So it was like sometimes too, you don't even think about it, especially with the full moon, and if it's gonna be cloudy, it's not like you're gonna really see it. Yes, you can experience things still because it's just there behind the clouds. But um, but I remember, just going, okay, Sharon, have a good one. Thank you. Uh I didn't notice, like I said, I didn't notice it as much leading into it. Gotcha, Rodney. Um, yeah, I just didn't things just didn't pop out. Like, sometimes, you start having unusual things that, pop up or, um, you know, things are, and for me, things were, pretty normal. I mean, as far as, it, being tired and stuff like that, getting up as early as I do, it's just kind of one of those things you get used to some of that stuff, and you don't blame it on other astrological events because it really doesn't apply, at least in my opinion. But even then, like I said, nothing was too strange out of the ordinary. And then when I was going to work was kind of cool. Because I leave about 4:30 in the morning, so I was actually able to see the full moon at that point. So that was kind of cool. Um, I was going to try to get a photo, but unfortunately I was driving and it was really behind me most of the time. It seemed like it was in a weird spot. a lot of times it's always usually out my left window, but it didn't. It really wasn't there, so it was more behind me. But yeah, it's okay. Then again, you take a photo. Hey, Jamie, Georgia, woohoo! Yeah, I know you guys are heading down to Florida. Yep, yep, yeah. And oh, I get you, Rodney. Yeah, sometimes some things just go nonstop. You just never know. But Jamie, yeah, continue to have a good trip down, and hopefully you guys will continue to have some fun. That's for sure. Well, you will. But yeah, no, and so yeah, I mean, hey Jeff, what's happening, buddy? Uh, yeah, I just like I said, I didn't notice it much, and then cool thing happened. Oh, cool. Please do, Jamie. I'm kind of curious. Hey, Heather. Good morning. Hey, Chris. Everybody's watching. Are you guys in the car yet, or are you guys still in the hotel? I was just curious if you guys got in the car and already started driving to continue on, or if you are still hanging out. So, um, yeah. So, like I said, nothing really different for me when it came to this full moon. So, okay, cool. You guys are just getting loaded. Cool. Um, Yeah, so I didn't. I know, and sometimes I do. Sometimes, you notice things, but then other than, I don't. So it was weird for me. So the full moon wasn't really effective. And I don't, that's like certain things that have happened. I've noticed it does affect others more. And it could be various events, whether it's like a solstice or, a special type of full moon or new moon and things like that. There's times where I just noticed it. And I'm always curious as to hey, what's happening, Dennis? Why it affects, others all the time, some of the time, or you get a lot of people that never notice anything. Oh, it's a full moon, whatever, or it's a solstice and whatever, it's fun to dive into that, the aspect of when you experience in like astrological events. Most people, some don't really even care, and then others, it's like a big thing. So it's really fascinating to talk to people from all different sides when it comes to things like that. Uh, but yeah, so this one just didn't bother me as much. So I would kind of be curious to see if when we get to the new moon, in a couple weeks, if that will do anything for me or others and stuff. So I mean, it's always kind of neat to kind of pay attention to that stuff, and that's why it's neat too to even have some of that stuff in your calendars, or if you have enough friends that post a lot of that stuff, you can kind of keep track of it, because I certainly can't keep track of it. Okay, Kelly, I'm not around kids right now to notice it that much. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's true when you got a lot of different people in a group setting like you with having teaching kids. Yeah, you can see the differences in the way they act. So, hey, Rebecca. Oh my God, all the way from down under. Cool. That's awesome. Thanks for stopping by. That's great. Uh, but yeah, so like I said, it'd be kind of curious. So like I said, if anybody else is just joining, anybody that noticed anything out of the full moon this week, um let me know. I'm kind of curious to see if anything bothers you. We've seen a lot of people talking about dreams and things, so that's kind of interesting, and that's certainly does apply to it, because you can see it's a big, several of you noticed it, so that's crazy. So I did want to talk about so Wednesday night, let's see, what do you got? Life is what's up. My position at work has been changed. Yeah, I think I did see that, bud. Cost of living is going up. Bitcoin. Yeah, just normal out there right now. But yeah, so Wednesday night, I got to uh, do some readings and things. Well, really, it was all readings, but I got to do 4 readings. Hey, Carrie, good morning. Okay, Rachel, gotcha. Okay, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. You just never know how it affects people a little bit differently, and even young kids that aren't really paying attention to astrological stuff, it affects them too. But yeah, I did some readings at the Nirvana, or I can't, as I'm saying that right, Nirvana House, out in Pemberville, which is about 20 minutes south of me. And hey, Joe, what's happening, buddy? You got to rev up that engine this morning. And we so I got to go, and it was cool because it's been being planned for a little while, and it was I went out there a couple months ago because of Carmen, introduced me to the owner, April, and so we hit it off really well, and they've been looking for somebody to do some readings. Hey, Tammy. And we scheduled it in, well, I should say she did it. She had a bunch of people that have been looking for readings. So I got to do that. So I got to do four of them, which was really cool. Two of them were hours, and then I had a couple 30 minutes, and uh, went really well. Obviously, I mean, you never know how they're going to go, it's always interesting when I get to do hour long ones. You know, you you always wonder if the spirits are going to hang on that long, because they sometimes they do, and a couple of them had different things, and even my guides will jump in to kind of fill in some gaps and things. So if you've ever had a reading from me, you notice that, it can go in a lot of different directions, and it can stay on just one, particular spirit that they've been wanting to communicate with. Or you can have a few of them jumping in and out. And sometimes that happens. It's weird is that, you'll have one throwing some information out, and then another one like jumps in and throws some information. So I sometimes have I can't tell the difference of who's saying what anymore, because there's just so much going on. Um, and even then you get one spirit that's just dumping so much stuff out, I can't spit it all out fast enough, because I don't audibly hear what they're saying. They're just showing me images or video clips of what they want me to describe. So it's interesting to uh, dive into that, and interpret it and try to get it out to the clients, so to speak. And Rebecca, I actually slept really well for a change. Usually don't sleep a full moon leading up to it, although I had some very vivid dreams about. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Thanks for sharing, Rebecca. Yeah, but like I said, it was a good evening. Had a lot of fun, and it's definitely, something I'm going to be going back to. I want to throw some dates, at April, and work it out, because I did have fun, and I think she's got some more people that would like readings. And it'll also be another great opportunity for me, because like if anybody's local and that wants a reading, and especially sometimes I can't have anybody really over at my house to do this type of stuff, unless it's through a phone conversation or video. And then and then sometimes it might feel awkward for me to go to somebody's house to do that too. So sometimes it's nice to kind of have a middle ground, whether it's outdoors at a park, or at a restaurant that that's opened, that we can hang out and do stuff. And then or like this, to be able to go to essentially a holistic shop, and hold hold sessions and things. So hey, good morning. And so Jen is screaming at you. Yeah, you're right. Jen knows. And good morning, Rhonda. But yeah, I mean, uh, it is. I love. You guys know. I mean, this is sort of the ending goal, is to where I can do this. Almost daily. Or pick enough to where I can. Continue with the bills and be able to sustain myself doing this, because obviously I would get more out of this, moving forward. I just got to make sure I take care of myself, because the bills don't go away, right? It's always the stress right now, is making sure you can cover your bills and things. So, uh, but that's the hope. And like, with the gallery readings that I've been doing locally, because of Dana, and it those are little steps, or maybe big steps too, is hopefully being able to establish a client base to where I can have enough each week to still not lose out when I'm making, at my day job. And that's the key, is if I can get enough to where that's pretty much right there, and as close as possible to what I'm getting now, that would be awesome. Hey, Jen, good morning. And um, yeah, but see, Dad, if I do that, if I do that, then I'm done for, because I've just abused the system. So as much as I would love to hear the winning numbers, I can't. So it's just all, auto picks for me. But uh but like I said, I would, if I can sustain doing this, permanently, that would be awesome, because it would just uh it'd be more easier, because then I can have a little bit more flexible time, because if I need to work a little bit more, I can push more and try to get more clients in. Or if I need a break because I need to do this and that, that would be awesome. And because I've had opportunities where I've had to miss out because I couldn't get the time off of work, and that's always a bummer, especially when this stuff is your passion, so you'd rather go and do this, at a moment's notice. And so uh, we'll see. And that's why I'm trying to do this more and more, is to push that the idea of this is it. This is what I'll do, and whether I'm here or we're going to someplace mutually, or at a holistic shop, and that would be awesome. So that is the path that I'm on. And uh, you know, we obviously got to get through a few little things, few hurdles, but that's all. Hey, Joe, good morning. And that's the way it is. And that's the way it is. So, but that's like I said, that's why you make goals. That's why you push towards things. And, you know, some things, can show up a little bit easier. Some things take a little bit, longer to get there. But as long as you keep pushing towards it, that's the whole point of it all. And that's what I'm trying to do. I mean, just like anything, I'm still human. I have my good days, good weeks, I have my good days, good weeks. I have my bad days and bad weeks. So, you know, sometimes I'm pushing, and then there's other times where I got to back off, or basically I'm just kind of overdone it. And I've got to sit there and rest just because of that. So, oh, thanks, Rebecca. I really appreciate that. Yeah. That's, I mean, it would be great if I would have been doing this stuff a lot younger, and I would have, it would have been great if I did this, good 20, 30 years ago. Well, maybe not 30 years ago, but at least 20 years ago would have been great. But that's okay. Sometimes you just fall into the right path, and you had to walk, go down other paths to get to this path. And that's how I've always looked at it. I mean, things popped up when they were supposed to, and I met the right people at the right time, and still meet, amazing people. And I'm not blaming you for that. I wouldn't change. I mean, that's the thing, is I can wish, that things were different, but even then, I still wouldn't have gotten to where I am now if I didn't do the things I have done, or worked at the places I've worked at, and met the people that I've met. It would have never happened, and that's the cool thing about it, is I've really, everything, I don't take away from it, and that's the cool thing. So, let's see, Debbie saying, I had a very detailed premonition at the age of 15 that happened right after I said it, but was warned to use for monetary gains. Okay. Tammy, I will answer that in just a second. Yeah, Rebecca, you're right. It can be. It can. Yeah, and thank you, Nicole. Divine timing. Absolutely, it is. And it is, Rebecca. And it's, the way the world is right now. There's, chaos in different places, and we have all, in all our countries, we all got our own, personal issues as far as what they're dealing with and stuff. So yeah, there's just so much that get involved, and then you got all that negativity that just jumps in there, makes it difficult on a lot of things. And for me, in a way, starting a business kind of thing like this, which is what it is, there's still tons of stuff I have to do in the background to get this be a little bit more official and legal. Not that I'm doing things illegally, but I'm just saying, uh getting paperwork and all that fun stuff, ironed out, and things like that that you have to do. But yeah, I mean, it's, I still wouldn't trade in, anything, because again, I wouldn't be where I'm at. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys if all that stuff didn't happen. And even then, you wouldn't think that, you know, doing this and doing that, is, you know, shaped me to get here. I mean, it's true. I mean, everything does. So, the experiences that you need along your path, are unique to you, and that's what helps you, get to where you need to be. um, Tammy saying, let me ask Tammy, hey, morning, Dell. Tammy was asking, where did you find your media? Yeah, I mean, I'm still in the middle of writing a book. I keep talking about it, and I just, some excuses, I will admit that. Uh, I I get in the flow where I'm banging away at the keyboard. I'm writing things down. Hey, Donna, good morning. And so I'm banging away at the keyboard. Continuing the book, and then I go sometimes months without that notion to do it. But the point is, I'm writing about the journey because it is a lot different than most mediums that are out there. I did not do this stuff when I was a kid. I didn't see anything, didn't hear anything. The most I ever had was psychic moments that they were events that happened in my life, and usually big events. Nothing small at that time, but it was usually something big. And um, you know just kind of wrote those off because it just seemed weird. And why did I see this happen, and could see all the different elements and details and stuff that would happen in this tragic moment or something. So But back, in the 80s and stuff, you just didn't talk about things. So I never told anybody about it. And it wasn't until, literally getting into the 2000s, that I finally started reading more stuff. I started getting connected to people, and then I started taking classes on just learning how to communicate with my own guides. And Tammy, interesting thing about that is even then, um, the class that were actually, the very same class that started me off, not doing mediumship, but doing that learning to talk to your own guides or angels if you're religious, uh, that's what started, really the whole turn for me. And I'm actually, we're going to be at Carmen's house in August. So people that are interested in just learning, what it's like to get into the routines of doing meditation, learning to who your guides are, how to use them, and then we get you set up, and it's this exact same class that I started with. And but see, I ended up practicing it for like 7 years before then I started getting involved in the paranormal, which then I talked to mediums. And the team I'm on, SWPI, they had their medium, and she took me under her wing. So she started me off giving me exercises, and then she would take me to investigations, and she would make me work, and she would see, be able to follow along with what I'm doing. Am I getting the same stuff, or as close to it as what she's getting? So work with her, and then several others. And it just got to the point where after a few years I really, it got comfortable and easier. And so finally, I started calling myself one. I started saying I'm a medium because, doing readings, doing investigations, and you're validating things, for all that. And so it just was a lot of fun for me. And it's still, a great passion. And I'm still moving forward. Della, we're going to be talking about black clouds in just a few more minutes. We're just kind of finishing up a few other small things that happened during the week and stuff. But uh, so yeah, but that's kind of, I mean, like I said, that's it in a nutshell. That's super fast. Well, Rodney, that's a great question. Yeah, I mean, we have multiple. I mean, the team has multiple mediums and sensitives, and so a lot of times you get a little bit of this, and min- yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing is, whether it's been on the team, which is Donna's team, because since Donna's in the room, so Spirit World Paranormal Investigation. So um, we have several that have done it over the years, and we have some that are up and coming. And yeah, I mean, you do get a lot of similarities. You get a lot of the same information, especially if we're not all together at the time we're doing something. If we're in one room and they're in another room, and then we switch, then then that happens. Uh, I've also worked on other investigations with multiple mediums, and especially when they've been rougher cases, real bad stuff's going on. Uh, they'd bring a bunch of us in, and we just all kind of do our thing. We're not necessarily bunched up, but we're all kind of doing our thing, walking through the location, and so we're writing stuff down, and then we kind of converse with each other, and then we're like, hey, this, and okay, yeah, I got that. So there's a lot of that goes on. Let's see. Rebecca asked the question: do you find it difficult to be open about your gifts in a town or country you're in? As some of the mediums I know in the States have expressed, it can be very difficult due to. Yeah, Rebecca, absolutely. Over here, you do have that pockets of, um, you get people that are skeptics, and they just aren't open enough to even pay attention to you, or of course, they're going to be mean about it and negative and things. And you know, it's definitely come a long way here in the States. Obviously it used to be really, like if you did that stuff, you were really wacko, or, you were, you know, it was all demon stuff and devil stuff, and, which is horrible because it's like, I'm sorry, that's not true at all. you know, I ain't no demons. The only time I deal with bad stuff is on a paranormal investigation, if something like that happens. But you're not getting that kind of level. You're getting what I call cranky spirits, but you're not getting true demonic stuff that we see, unfortunately. But the stuff we see, you know they're doing that stuff for entertainment because nobody else is going to watch if there's not a demon involved. So it's not fun when you just have an old man that's just cranky, and was that way at the end of his life, and now he's still cranky on the other side, and he's doing the same things he did. So you know It just it's the way it is. And even when you get into some of the more high level, stuff, even if they're scratching and stuff, it doesn't still doesn't mean it's a demon, and more than likely it's still not. They're just really getting your attention or want you out. So what's up, Sandy? Yeah, so I mean it can be really interesting, depending on where you're at. But a lot of times, I try to stay around, the community in the sense of you stick to the people that will appreciate you, whether they connect with you, because even then, if people don't want a reading from me, that's totally cool, because I want you to go to somebody that you feel comfortable with. So I'm never offended, if people don't want to come to me for readings, but they go to the person that's a good friend of mine sitting next to me. That's awesome. I mean, you have to do that. It's just like, well, yeah, that's a whole nother story. Now we've talked about that before, but yeah, I mean, it just, yeah. Oh, Debbie. My family used to say I was a witch all the time back in the day because I knew things. Yeah, see, you were hitting psychic stuff big time. That's awesome. Let's see, I find it funny. I put it down by people with my guests. They'll then later have to come to me and help. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, Rebecca. I mean, yeah, it's interesting how you can do that. And I'm not one to push it too much, because uh, I don't want to pressure anybody into, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to have a service from me. I mean, if you just want to talk, we can talk. I mean, that's cool too. If I got the time for it, because my schedule can be pretty packed. If I got time to talk, or maybe just send messages, which sometimes are easier for me because I can fit them in between other things that I'm doing. So I'll do that. And I have no problem chatting. And that's free. you know, so I'm cool with that. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. This is a lot of fun, and so I'm going to keep pushing forward, and we're going to keep doing this. So, let's see, anything else? Okay, so yeah, before we get into the topic, uh, all right, making sure. So, yeah, so this night or tonight, this evening, I was going to say this night. That makes sense too. This evening, that's what I wanted to say. Doing a gallery reading. It's private. Uh, Looking forward to that. So if Rachel's still in the room, it's she's the host of it, but it's a private event, so it was invites only. So that's local. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with Rachel, and a lot of people get doing some gallery reading tonight. So I'm excited. I love that stuff, and then other than that, we have geez, see, I was unprepared today. I had so many things going on, and it's just the way it is. So uh, yeah, so really the next big event for me, which I've talked about before, is that the Wild Wind Farm Festival on July 9th. Mostly I'm going to be doing, flute performance, but at my table I'll be doing readings as well. So it'll be a good time. And let's see. All right, Jen, you have a good one. Have a good session. Rebecca, the where I'm at in the USA, I'm in the state of Ohio, real close to the Michigan border. So we're classified as the Midwest of the country, and I got a lot of the Great Lakes that are up that way. Uh, that it's kind of the easiest way. So if you look at a map, you can kind of just look for Ohio. I always said Ohio kind of looks like a shield to me. That's just how I always looked at it, but it kind of looks like a shield. And then Michigan has what looks like a mitten. So, but yeah, so they got that going on. And then, other than that, I think there's still some other things that are in the works. There is some more gallery readings. There is still a few more dates left, especially, you know, uh, uh, we try to do it to where we can be outside a little bit, so we can just be a part of nature, even if it's in a backyard and there's houses all around. Doesn't really matter, but just being outside, that's the kind of cool part. So but we weren't trying to do anything in the hottest parts of the summer. So obviously for us, July and even August can be pretty bad, but yeah, at least once we get into the fall, we're trying to get a couple more in there, so that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, if people are interested in gallery stuff in their area, I'll certainly come up. And if you can um, have it, because we're doing it to where it's like 35 per person. We're trying to at least have at least if you can bring 6 people out, that'd work out pretty good. But But if you're interested, you can always let me and Dana, who was in the chat earlier, but you can always contact us and we can always set that up and see what kind of dates is. And I'm not opposed to even doing that, over the winter months as well. Obviously, especially for us in the Midwest, we have the weather could be always unpredictable at times, especially once we get into January, February. But I'm not opposed to doing stuff indoors, and because I certainly have. I have done gallery indoors before, and I'm not talking like in a big meeting place, but I'm talking in a controlled or home that's smaller and stuff. But anyway, um, okay, Carrie, no problem. No problem. Yeah, I mean, yeah, today's going to be bad, but tomorrow, even with Father's Day, by the way, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. So, oh, geez, here we go. One second while we delete that. Ah, hopefully, I got him out of there fast enough. Always fun when you get those that come in here real quickly. So, yes, you too, Dad. Happy Father's Day. But what's up, Val? If you're watching a ghost hunting show on TV, your sense who the investigators are communicating with, like remotely. So shockingly, Val, I have done that a few times. I have on the shows, connected. I don't do it that often because I don't I just don't like to. But there has been times that I have on a few shows in particular. I have jumped in, so that can be interesting, and sometimes it does work out, especially even if you pause it and then write some stuff down, and then you can kind of see if any of that kind of pops up during the show, especially if you've never seen it. So that's kind of cool. Um, yeah. So got that coming up, and then I'm trying to think. I'm blanking on something else, but it's the way it is. But anyway, I did want to jump into the topic because I know that a lot of people are interested in that as well. Debbie, if we could figure out a way that where I can get out there, I just obviously got to make enough, to uh, travel. So if I can make enough to cover travel, then it'd be great. But so yeah, I wanted to talk about because like I said, I try to always bring at least one thing up that you guys can kind of connect to. Hey, Rebecca, that Australia has definitely been on the places to go. Uh, I certainly would love to go there. Like I said, it's always been really high on my list of places. So that yeah, if I can make that work out at some point, we'll stay in touch, and yeah, we'll work it out for sure. Because I'd love to come down there and hang out there for a while. I just know I got to be there for at least a couple weeks to get used to the time change and everything. So oh yeah, I mean Rebecca, I mean anytime I've ever seen videos and documentaries and things on your country, it's just yeah, it blows me away. So yeah, I would love to for sure. So you never know. Okay, Kim, well you can always let me know. Oh, that's true, Kim, you do know. I was just thinking, I'm like, Kim, tell me what it is, but yeah, I know it. I know. That's awesome. Yep, thanks, Della. But yeah, but I did want to talk about black clouds, and I think, and I left it like that in general because I think we've all heard the term enough, um, because it can be true. You feel that, and it's not just like a moment. And I look at the black cloud as something that just kind of hanging over you for some time. It's a string of bad luck, misfortunes, uh, just accidents, like where you're getting hurt, like getting bumping into things and stuff like that. All the things that kind of go along with that, and it's like, why did they happen? Is there ways to avoid it? you know because I think pretty much everybody has had those. And like I said, for me, a black cloud is usually something that it's at least several days, if not a week or more. I mean, I've had some that have gone for months, and it was the craziest thing. And but it I have not, Della. I have not been over there. So I've only I've only been through it. I've never stopped. Yeah. Actually, no, I don't think I've even been through it. I think I've flown over. So no, I have not. So we can always figure something out. Um, but yeah, like I said, I've had moments, and I remember there was one year that, holy smokes, I think it was a good almost half a year where it's just like anything I did every day, it was just something bad, and it was crazy to, yeah, yeah, Rebecca, you needs, you need to, okay, cool, Della. I will. Yeah, I may not be able to. So I'm probably, if you guys, anybody sends me messages today about anything, I probably am not going to see them, or if I'll see them, but I probably won't be able to respond because, like, as soon as the show's done and I get it posted, I'm literally running out the door to go see some family that have been here all week, but I haven't seen them, and then I got to fly back home so I can get cleaned up for tonight's gallery reading. So I probably won't be returning any messages at all until tomorrow. So just in case anybody sends anything, just know that my day's loaded, and I will definitely get back to you guys, tomorrow at least. Yeah. So back to Black Cloud. So like I said, there was a good, 4 or 5 months where it's all it was just every day, and it was wild to think that I, I didn't understand it because it was like what was going on, and so I, when you go through it at the time, you no, I mean, definitely send it today. Don't be afraid. Just know that I'm not going to respond until tomorrow. But and even then, tomorrow, is Father's Day, so I mean, I'll be with my family and stuff like that, and but yeah. So when you're in the middle of it, sometimes you just don't realize it, because the first few days and stuff like that, you're just like, whatever, and it's just like, this sucks because you're kind of blind to it. We all are when it starts. And it's not until you realize, like I said, multiple days in, and sometimes it's repeating itself, and or it's getting worse, or and things. It's so I I end up cracking up over it, especially nowadays. Back, when you're younger and you're growing up, you're just like, what is going on? Why am I have this, string of bad luck and stuff? And you just get frustrated and angry, and or you get super depressed and just wanting to crawl under a rock, which is, I've wanted to do that many times over. But I but I nowadays when I start going through them, and it's, it is definitely more unusual, like, like I said, I'm tired, I don't get a lot of sleep, at times, and so I can't blame a lot of that, just because it's just how that is. I'm waking up early, I have to work all day long, I have to drive long periods of time to get to and from work. So I can't say that's has anything to do with bad luck. That's just life right now. And yeah, I got you, Heather. And but so why, I guess we can go to the basis, is, why does a black cloud show up? Why does it happen? What's going on in your life that it's a thing? Why is it happening to you? And you can look at it a bunch of different ways, and not every way is exactly going to be the way it is for you if you go through it. And Debbie, that is it. I was going to mention that as well. It is so true. It eventually is. And I've talked about it before. We have to have good stuff, and we have to have bad stuff. There has to be a balance over it. And a lot of times too is when you're having the bad stuff or a negative, moment or whatever, or time, you know you're learning from it because you're making yourself stronger in the end. So when you do go through those streaks of where everything's just falling apart, and it's interesting to fight through it, because you just keep thinking, hey, I'm still smiling, I'm not letting it get to me, it's not affecting me, and I'm still getting up, and I'm still doing what I need to do to get through the day and stuff like that, and you keep pushing through it. And it's funny, is like the harder you fight, it seems like the longer it takes. But that's the thing too, is you're learning from all that, you're learning to fight through these things. So when you have like a small moment, you get through it like no problem, like it wasn't even, you didn't even have to put much thought into it. But the long term ones, you know they can be brutal, but at the same time, where it's a lesson, it's also where, who are you and what type of person are you? Now, you can certainly use a couple different terms. Karma is one of them. Karma comes back and affects a lot of us. You do something bad's going to come back to you. And I have seen that, you know, uh, and I'm guilty of it too. You do something bad, and you get poked for it, it's like, "Ugh," and I deserved it. And then you get people that are just bad. They're negative. They live in a realm of where it's like you're just asking for it. And there's people I know. I'm good friends with people that are like that. They're just so negative all the time, and you try to pick them up, you try to give them little things, and it just never takes. And so I've gotten to the point on some of them that I just talk, I just be cordial in stuff, but I can't keep saying the same things over and over again, because obviously they don't want to, they don't want to listen, or they don't want to better themselves. They don't want to overcome what they're dealing with, because it could be a lot of things we don't know. And you know, at the same time too, it does help to kind of, when you're dealing with it, reach out for help. I mean, I'm guilty where I don't always ask for help, when it's bad, because I think that I can ride it out in, a couple days and I'll be good to go. And so sometimes, it's nice to even express, what's going on, or why it's happening, or why you think it's happening. And even then talking to somebody, which, like I said, I'll definitely talk to anybody. If you're going through some rough times, we can kind of dive through it and see if we can find out what the bottom end of it is. Um, let's see. And I missed a couple. Let's see. Dallas, I love karma. Yep. Carrie, I see that. Usually karmic lessons. Yep. Um, Debbie, I had to suffer abusive relationships, learn to love and respect myself. Yes, yes. Able to self, and Rebecca saying a lot to do with self-talk, make a difference. Chocolate and music help shift your vibration. Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing, is always finding something else in your life that you can use to trigger it. And I've talked about it before. When I deal with my anxiety, uh, I found that when I do chores, household chores, and I'm loading the dishes up, or you know, wiping things down or cleaning something, when you get done and you have that achievement of like, hey, I just did all that, and you end up feeling better. So for me, chores, which you would think would be the worst thing ever, but it's the symbol of when you achieve something, which is when you're dealing with a lot of bad stuff, you're dealing with anxiety and stuff, you know, you're kind of not winning. And that's the whole point of where you find something that you can do. And it could be reading stuff, listening to stuff, going for walks, exercise, chores. I mean, you got to find what works for you to get through those moments. So yeah, for me, that does the trick, and it's crazy that it works, for me. But hey, it is what it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, Rachel, it drains you being around them. Then when you find those who wear it like a blanket and don't want to, I know, Carrie, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's crazy, especially when I know them, and it's like, are you sure you like that? Yeah, anything mundane can be meditative and sense of accomplishment. Thanks, Rebecca. Music is the best, Della saying. At least you're trying to help me with house cleaning. Yep, yep. Chores are therapeutic. Yeah, I mean, as much as I don't like doing them, but yeah, they can be. Some identify themselves with it. They actually like being the victim. You're right, Carrie. Yeah. And and I that's the thing I can't understand either, is like, why would why would you want to sit in that, or live in that field, that world of just like, depression and anger, and I understand if we all need days away. I mean, some more than others. I would love to disappear for a whole weekend and not communicate with anybody. That's the truth. And even then, I would do it for a whole week and not say a thing to anybody. Like literally turn the phone off and just disappear. And I wouldn't have a problem with that, because just to be able to get away and cut everything off, and then just, because it's not like it's going to go away. It's going to be there when I get back, right? So you know so for me, it's a great thing, and I don't get to, because again, you got the work, and I got these passions, and I got a family and stuff, and so there's just a lot of responsibilities I can't just do. Sure, I can, go like tomorrow if I really wanted to. I could disappear for the day tomorrow and nobody will say anything about it, because it's Father's Day and I can do whatever I want tomorrow. you know and so, if I really wanted to disappear tomorrow, I certainly could, and nobody's going to say anything differently, which is cool. I mean, I would love that. I'd love to just go away and not think about it. So um let's see. Rebecca, yes, some people like being in a funk and refer to them as the Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, absolutely. No, you're right. That is a joke. I have used that joke before with some people. Debbie, the most relaxed and happy I was when I was looking. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Jen, I think some people find comfort. Jen, yeah, I mean, and it's unfortunate, like, you know, I think it's because it just gets to the point where it's like a routine. It's just it it is just normal for them, and that's choices they have to make. I mean, obviously, I could say and tell people not to go there and try to help them out of it, and yet they go right back to it when they just that's all they've ever known, or that's what they just think is the way things are. It's hard to show them the light in a way, to give them that way to climb back out of that situation, or the those moments, that black cloud. It can be rough, for a lot of people, and I get it. But I think you can find more in life when you can get yourself out of that hole, or that black cloud off of you. You know, you find more things that if you would have when you stay where you're at, especially if it is a darker place, you end up not, you're missing out on things, and nobody's saying you have to change, your life completely. It's just the way of your thinking and thought processes and the way you act, you know. So I mean, you know, yeah. It is a great topic, isn't it? Let's see. Yeah, she did. Let's see. My dad's saying, yeah, well, yeah, you're right, Dad. Nature's a great way to relieve a lot of stress. It's a great way to disconnect. Because even then, nature, takes care of you in the end. Um, let's see, Della. Uh, I love that people ever worry about my son being. Yeah, okay. Some people enjoy the attention from others, trying to help them, and love to control. Yeah, everyone worries about me. Yeah, Della, I get. Yeah, we do. I knew someone like this who stays in the dark. I know someone like this who stays in the. Yeah, it's Heather. It's an unfortunate thing. Yeah, Dad, that's true too. Yeah, I mean, you get the ones. Well, in the funny part that you say that where they complain. Yeah, that's you kind of get into that the little bit of a narcissism category then, where they everything's got to revolve around them, and they got to beat, thump their chest, and they're going to be mean about things. They're in a negative space, but yet they try to push that and make everybody else feel horrible with them. And I've been around plenty of those over the years and still come across them, and it's sad that, and difficult. That was one of the things that is it's difficult when you have to be around someone like that, where they are in that dark place, or they're a narcissist, and they dump a lot on you. And I learned for a while, that I had to figure out how to block. And it was crazy that there's no real easy way to teach somebody how to block a narcissist. I mean, it really isn't. But it's hilarious when you do it. The outcome is crazy. Like, you can't help but then laugh, like, afterwards. So it's challenge at first, and there's going to be a lot of bad days. But when you finally jump on that, and you're blocking them, and they can't get to you, or they're not dumping their crap on you, woo, it is really cool when that happens. Let's say yes, Rebecca. Yeah, yeah. It's to say my last name is Wizlek. Yeah, so that's awesome. Okay, gotcha. Yep, that's awesome, Rebecca. That's really cool. Yeah, you're correct. Good catch. Yeah, my dad's right there. um, right. Yeah, Dalla. Yeah. Let's see, Dinah. My family worry about me since my husband passed away 4 years ago. Some days I feel like I'm back in the day. One, right? Yeah, and that's just the ride of it all. Is again, like I said, you know, life still continues on. That I think everybody always says that, and it nobody's saying that you can ever or should ever forget the person, that has passed. The memories are always there. They'll always still be. They're never going to go away. It's just how you um it's just how you move forward, and do a lot of honoring of those people and things like that. And nobody's saying that um you can't still think about them. You still can't have, emotional moments, and especially on the anniversaries of birthdays, and when they passed and stuff. And so there's nothing wrong in that, and going to the cemetery, and things like that. So yeah, I mean, you never let go. It's making sure that as long as you're taking care of yourself, you know, right. And but that's, as long as you are still getting up. You're still doing your daily things. You're taking care of yourself. You're feeding yourself, and you're, you know, as long as you're not sitting there completely stuck in a chair, it's not going to be good. After a while, it's going to weigh in on you. So yeah, 4 months going on 5 months on the right. Well, yeah. So let's see, about 10 minutes left. Um, yeah, I mean, it's it's one of those things that we, like I said, we all go through these times and moments, and as long as you're not in a way the root cause of why it happened, it still is going to happen. Where you 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 you, you kind of put gasoline on the fire. That's probably a good way to put it. Where you like I've done it where you have a few bad things, and it's like you have a bad day at work and you have a bad day at home, and then all these other little things kind of start popping in there, and then it's like you work through them, but unfortunately it's not getting better, and then the next day it's like a repeat, and then you're going, what is happening? And so it just gets frustrating. So then that's when like I said, it's usually a few days of it that I realize, okay, something's going on. What I have to then think back, did I do anything that I deserve this? Then am I learning something from it? Is there a reason for this to happen? Because like a lot of times when I'm tired, so this really isn't a black cloud thing, but when I get real tired from work and things, I get really, like weekends, I want to take naps, a lot more, because not all day, but I mean, I want to take a nap at least, once a day, just to get that rest, because I'm not getting good sleep. I mean, I sleep horrible. I'm a terrible sleeper. And even today, today, which last night was just not another good night, and so that's frustrating as it is, and you try to do all the different things and stuff like that, but uh, it's yeah, it is difficult when you're in those times. So yeah, sorry, I got lost in my train of thought there, but I I'm trying, as always, to push through everything, and when things are difficult, I find the things that work. Um, I've always said before, if it's been a rough day, you know, deal with it as far as, hey, I'm just gonna sit around, mope around for today, but then tomorrow I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Um, you know, if I feel like it, I'll tell people about what's going on or what's bothering me. Doesn't happen often, but I try to at times. And I you know just know that you got to start picking yourself back up, because obviously to um swim in it, it's just I hate it. And so it's unfortunate that I don't catch myself sooner, because it's always a couple days, and then it's like, because like I've talked about on the shows before, it's like, oh man, this was a horrible week. I could tell you some things, not all the details, and then it's just like, you know but then it's the thing is, sometimes I've got to slow down, because I've overwhelmed myself with too much, or I've put too much on my plate to deal with, and I just can't. So it's a difficult thing to muster for me. So yeah, I got you, Rebecca. Yeah, Jen, lack of sleep can throw everything off. Really increase your, yeah. All I need to do, it does. I had two attacks this morning. So if that doesn't tell you anything, yeah, it was great. I'm used to it, and I kind of know, and I know why it triggered. So at least there's that. I know why, and so I can move forward knowing, okay, well, let's just not go there again. So at least there's times where I do know what's up. Excuse me. Let's see. Rebecca, I mean, I do, you talked about crystals. I do have them. I do usually keep some in my pockets and stuff like that. I don't use it as a go-to. Like, that's my first thing to do, is to reach for them. Um, I try to do other things first, because obviously if I'm in a situation where I don't have them, I don't want to be where that's my dependency on those. So I try to use other methods first, and then if I do have them with me, then I certainly will hold on to them or use them for appropriately. Debbie. Cold, tired, and hungry are your worst enemies. Yeah. Excuse me. So yeah, yeah, but yeah, so it's yeah, it's that's the thing is, so my sleep is I will go to sleep. I will usually get about 3 straight hours or so. I'll fall asleep pretty quick, and I'll get about 3 hours for maybe four tops, where it's just that's all I'm doing is sleeping. And then it's after that, then I start waking up. And then I'll wake up. Sometimes I can roll over and go back to sleep. Other times I'm sitting there thinking for, 15 minutes or so, then go back to sleep. And especially during the work week, then if it's close enough to the alarm, then I'm just going to get up. So sometimes I think it's close and I'll hit it and it's still like an hour away. And I'm like, oh, you know, and then, so then there's times where I'm constantly watching the clock because I think I'm sleeping too long, and then I just finally end up getting up early, or I've fallen back asleep like right before the alarm goes off, and then the alarm hits, and I'm like, ah, geez. So, so yeah, it gets crazy for me, and that's why another thing it'd be great to stop doing my day job so I wouldn't have to get up at 3:30 in the morning. So that would be that's definitely hopefully something I can do. So right. um yeah. That's true, Kelly. I mean, I do love the British accents and stuff are my favorite. And then I can't pass up Rebecca being in Australia too. So you gotta love the way they talk too. I mean, and I know it's so weird when we always say that, but because I know we sound different to them, just like they sound different to us. I mean, and I'm talking any country that's got accents to it. I mean, we all have an accent. Even in the States, how many different regions of the United States have different accents? So that's so great. But yeah. I had to get more than 3 hours of sleep. I do stick around. Yeah. See, that's why I really like it when I can get a nap. If I can get a nap in the afternoon, that's amazing because then that just kind of sets me up for the rest of the day. I would love that, more. But like I can't do that. I can't do that at work because you just can't, and there's too many, there's people around, and I could run out to the car, but now that the temperatures are getting up there, I can't even hide in the car because I don't want to run the car the whole time and waste gas. As much as I would love to, go out there and fall asleep for, as close to an hour as possible, that'd be great. But so a couple minutes left, and then I'm gonna get on because I got to get moving because it's a long day. So hopefully that kind of gives you guys an idea, at least the background. So if you're ever going through, some rough times, definitely recognize it, call it for what it is, look at seeing, was it something that you did? Is it just kind of one of those learning moments for you? And you got to work through them. Again, just like I've always said, you have a bad day but get up the next day. So the same works for those as well. Recognize it, understand it. Thanks, Carrie. And you always know that you can talk to a lot of different people. There's people all over the place. You guys, some of you have been talking to each other in the chat room. That's fantastic, and that's the whole point, is just being able to talk. And happy Father's Day, Dad. And we it's just important that we do reach out to people. And again, I think that's something that globally, we have lacked. And I think that's why, like, again, that's why I love doing this, where I can share some stuff and get us, talking. Like I said, not everybody has to be friends here in the chat, and who follow me. We just need, just to be able to talk and listen, both ways, talk, but at the same time listen too. So thanks, Dinah. And thanks, Tammy. So yeah, but again, there's just some of the things that we need to always be aware of. And again, it's super important to recognize it, especially if you can recognize it quick enough, and then deal with it however it is, however you can manage through it, whatever makes you happy and what makes you feel like you can get back going again and on your feet, then you got to do that. So thanks, Heather. So yeah, so so I'm gonna start wrapping up here. I will be back next week. There is no other. Yeah, we're good to go. Next weekend shouldn't be a big deal. Because again, I won't be till the 9th that I will not have a show. So Thank you guys so much. So happy Father's Day. So if any of you that have uh, husbands that are fathers, definitely wish them happy Father's Day for me, even if they don't know me. Who? And then yeah, so again, we'll be back next week. Try to look for some more posts. I am still working on try to get another live reading show in there. Oh, I'm going to be doing another live show tomorrow, but not on my page. I'm going to be doing it on our haunted old mill, our Swippy page, and the Old Mill Parafest, because we're going to be announcing our Old Mill Parafest lineup for November this year. So you want to check out any of those three pages, you'll see us go live at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so that'll be kind of cool. Oh, yours is in September. Okay, gotcha, Rebecca. Um, and yeah, so I'm going to be on briefly tomorrow at 1, but again on one of those three pages because we're announcing our lineup, so we're excited. And yeah, I'll just try to get some more posts and then try to get that date. I think I was going to try to do it the last week. I think that's where I was shooting for. So look for a pop-up show. It'll probably be during the week, more than likely. So yes, that's awesome, Rachel. I will definitely see you in a number of hours. Woohoo! Meat is getting cold. I like that. Afterwards. So all righty, guys. I am out. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys hanging out. And yeah, you guys are awesome. So enjoy your weekends. Have a great time. Enjoy Father's Day. If you have any fathers that you're going to be around, spend the time with them if you can, or at least reach out to them. You too. Thank you, Rebecca. It was great seeing you. Thank you for checking us out from over there. And yeah, it'll be great. So this has been Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. I will see you guys again next time. Enjoy your weekend. Happy Father's Day again. So thank you so much. All my love, light, and peace to each and every single one of you. And I'll see you soon. Bye.